going here if they keep hiring over there and not here. My next guest says this all sounds good for the president, but in reality, America will lose out. He's Republican Illinois Congressman Aaron Schock, also the youngest member of the House of Representatives. Congressman, good to have you. What's your biggest
Good afternoon, Neil.
What's your biggest concern here?
Well, my concern is that the reality of what the president's talking about has nothing to do with closing loopholes, but actually will close the door on good-paying American jobs all across this country, and for me in particularly in my backyard. My hometown is Peoria, Illinois, home to one of the finest companies here in our country, Caterpillar World Headquarters, a place that the president visited to trumpet his stimulus plan, a plan that has done very little to put people in my district back to work or sell Caterpillar tractors. The president's tax reforms will only do more to ship those jobs overseas.
Well, the president's people, the Congressman, say the companies like Caterpillar or Deere would not be affected by this because while they do hire and do a lot of business overseas, this is an issue of those who get an exclusive credit here for doing something abroad that they shouldn't be doing and claiming the credit for, neither of which would apply to this company. What do you say?
That's completely bogus. I have spoken with the head of tax law for Caterpillar Corporation myself. He was in my office nearly 2 weeks ago when the president first spoke of this idea. His words precisely where it would be devastating for Caterpillar. For example, Caterpillar sells 70% of all their tractors to other markets. The market in China, for example, has been so good, they've added 14,000 U.S. jobs just to keep up with the demand
But isn't
over
the
in
issue,
China.
Congressman, the hiring in China, the hiring of workers abroad?
Sure. And why shouldn't U.S. companies be allowed to expand operations overseas just as their foreign competitors? What this bill will do is only speed up foreign competitors buying U.S. corporations. If the president likes the Fiat owning Chrysler and so many of these other foreign competitors gobbling up their U.S. competition because it makes more sense for them to be foreign companies. And for the sake of Caterpillar, they only sell 30% of their goods here in our country. If they're going to be double taxed on the other 70%, why fly the American flag?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to be clear because it's a he said, she said kind of thing, and I don't know the tax law, and you do probably.
Sure.
But the administration says just because you do a lot of business abroad doesn't mean you're going to lose this credit. Where they draw the line in the proverbial sand is when you hire a lot of people abroad at the expense of American workers and claim a credit that you don't deserve.
Well, I don't know how you claim that at the expense of American workers. The idea that somehow every good and service that a U.S. company provides overseas should somehow be manufactured or performed here in the United States is a little naive.
So what do you think is going to happen real quickly? You think Caterpillar is going to bolt?
Well, I hope that companies like Caterpillar and their brothers and sisters like them around the country will help educate their members of Congress, will help educate their shareholders, and more importantly, their employees of the devastating effect of the president's tax policy, and the members of Congress will hear their phones ring.
Congressman, thank you.
And ultimately we can kill it. Thanks, Neil.
Gotcha. All right, well, of course they're smiling when really